Okay. I'm very good at this. Fixed it. Okay. So last time we left off right before this, we quote unquote met Iceheart, who had a voiced cutscene for 5 seconds. So that's great. I guess that's a spoiler. Alright. I assume because I'm tank, I'm going to be queued immediately. I'm a liar. Unless you wanted to come.
You want me to come with you?
I know it's boring. Okay.
Oh, you do. We'll see. If it doesn't pop in 5 minutes, then invite me.
Okay. No one wants to be in the cold.
Or maybe not 5 minutes, give it like a couple minutes.
It says average wait time of 6 minutes, so...
Yeah, so give it like a couple minutes and see. If it doesn't pop by then...
If it doesn't pop by the ad break.
Oh yeah, there is one coming up already.
Yeah. I have it set so it doesn't pre-roll. Gives people time to come in.
Yeah.
Because I hate pre-roll. Like, even if I'm watching someone else, like, if I'm clicking on the stream, I want, like, at least a buffer of time before I'm supposed to watch an ad, you know? I guess also if no one joins, you could also just do it unsynced, which would be, I think, a first for this entire playthrough.
Is it?
I think so. I don't think I remember doing an unsynced run of anything on stream.
Well, I wouldn't blame you. This one is kind of a I'm stressed.
Yeah. This very definitely feels like a DPS queue. Oh, there are things up here. Your mount cannot go any higher. Oh, hey. I can, in fact... Okay, there we go. How funny would it be if they actually had Iceheart up here somewhere in the off chance that someone was able to fly up here during this part of the story?
Hmm.
I'm not gonna let this go. I'm really not gonna let this go. You gave us a voiced scoff, and that's it. The least you could do is have your model here somewhere for me to find.
Oh.
It's a coward. It's just a coward. Hello, Mr. Brave. Scouting the croc, I see. It didn't appreciate that.
I don't think I'd appreciate that either.
Being peered at.
I don't know
Who are
why
you
that
again?
one is staring at the wall, but okay.
Yeah. It is a very shiny wall.
Huh.
It does have the look of, like, rock crystal rather than ice.
Pretty sure that's supposed to be ice, though.
Yeah, no. I mean, we are in White Rim after all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. Mel, do you want to come with for it?
Not if you're unsyncing it. You don't need me to.
Okay.
I want to try to still queue for it regularly, then yeah, I'll check you.
I definitely will want to for whatever that is. Wait. Okay.
Double checking that to make sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I have left it on do not skip for a long time because I'm scared of forgetting to turn it back off.
Understandable.
I probably should have taken a weaker axe with me or something. Okay. Do I have a weaker axe with me? No. What's with... It took me this long to realize that the screen is offset a bit. It's doing this weird thing where it's like not... Excuse me. It's not at the proper alignment. Oh well. Hmm. Now we clear. Hello. Goodbye. Let's see if I can make this a bit more interesting. Nope. Gonna have to unequip a lot more. Hey, give me an axe.
No?
Oh wait, no, this is not where I get actual. This is where you get the weird antique stuff from. Man.
That startled me because I forgot that was a thing.
What, the goobies?
The snowballs and the fact that they hack from them, it's so weird.
This dungeon was definitely a decision. It's like this, and which one was it? Dusk Vigil? That has like these biting winds.
Yep. Dusk Vigil's the one with
The griffin.
Which other face?
Let's
Yeah, I think you're right.
undo this. Just steadily nerfing myself. Bit too much still. Belcleve! Alright. This one had Avis's in it, right?
Well, the other one had Avis's too.
No, that's true. I guess in true warrior fashion, I should go shirtless. Although, honestly, the real answer is I should have prepared, like, unimpressive gear. Alright, we're shirtless. Still too much. I remember the first time I actually found this item. The Finger of the Apostate. Was so unnerving. What the heck are you seeing? I'm attempting to nerf myself so I don't one-shot the bosses. Because I did it, or I'm playing this unsynced because no one was queuing. Also welcome. But as you can see, I've been steadily nerfing myself across the entirety of the dungeon, and I'm still doing too much damage.
And happy birthday, by the way.
Yes. Ew, you're older. What's wrong with that? No mechanics. Huzzah. You're back aged up again. It's always the back. Alright.
Well done.
Let's put everything back on. How does it feel to feel older?
The tales do not do you justice, warrior of light.
Yeah?
Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am.
Sure.
I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart.
Izel. Izel. Interesting. This entire time I was pronouncing it Isael.
This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light. I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost.
No matter if you're being called a heretic.
In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good.
But didn't you know heresy's in season?
For Eorzea, for Hydaelyn.
Now why do you know that name? Why do you know that name? Excuse you? Alright then. Hey, Michaela. It'll go in 5 minutes. You're good. That took longer than I expected. What news, Varix? So Iceheart is but a pseudonym. Not that it matters. As she managed to escape is regrettable, but from your description of that beast, you did well to come as close as you did. In any case, now that you have cleared a path, the Temple Knights can begin to survey the tunnels in earnest. Mayhap they will even find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders for their fight against the heretics? The Crystal Braves would certainly share the credit for it too. Well be praised, Varix. We may yet turn this situation to our advantage. How dare. Oh, come now, we're all old. Assuming we stopped Iceheart before she summons Shiva, of course. Needless to say, our fellow Scions have not been idle. Minfilia and Urianger have been busy perusing the archives of House Fortom, gathering what information they can on Shiva. Which reminds me, if you were intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report on the day's events, but don't. The antecedent should be here any minute. I can only assume some people enjoy subjecting themselves to this cold. Why, yes. It's me. Granted, that's before I get an ear infection. I was born up north, but my parents moved us down south because my sister and I kept getting ear infections from the cold. Though as I've grown, I still prefer the cold. Because, as Midvillia is showing, you can always add more clothes. You cannot remove more than your clothes. Cold debuff. It's only a debuff if I don't prepare myself. You could say the same thing for any kind of temperature. Antecedent. You come to us straight from the archives of House Fortom. I trust your time there proved fruitful. Would that it had. Urianger and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with a dragon, the gravest of all sins, according to the Ishgardian faith. Yet in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another question. Suffice to say, I very much doubt that we will find a useful answer in the archives of House Fortom. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case, one wonders if it is by circumstance or design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to the endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir How did we pronounce it last time? Sir Emmerich might take issue with her methods. How did he sound again? I do not care if you stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm that a tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I expected, Sir Emmerich. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, was it not by the will of Halone that your ancestors came to this land? Why they took up arms against the Dravanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? I'm doing a lot of talking out loud there, you know. A lot of those thoughts should have stayed inside. There are those who believe that faith is a renunciation of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required of all who would live a life in service to the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I will not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. 'Twas a different time, nay, a different era, and scripture tells us only so much. Would that it told us more. I am surprised that Minfilia actually brought a coat, and Alfino didn't even bother. That man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait at the negotiating table, to be sure. Less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Iceheart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Alfino is Elsa's descendant, he doesn't need any coat, but he was complaining about the cold. The cold bothered him anyway.
Shiva was a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Mogulmog XII, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of the Malgus god. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of one who embodies their beliefs. If that is not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Minfilia. They have them both in abundance. Can that truly be all that is required?
You were gonna say the line. You know. Given that we're in Kurthos, there's literally infinite possibility to make Arundel references, movie references. I remember a lot less about 2, so some of those might be lost on me, but feel free to hit me with any of the ones from Frozen 1.
My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the aetherite Iceheart used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another aetherite, somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of this second aetherite, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route, most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Shalian may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it will take us to survey the entire tunnel system. While Minfilia looks into our aetherite problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The third unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly, despite our numbers. Kurthos is vast, and Iceheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for their leader's whereabouts. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you were not aware. Of course I'm unaware. I make it a point to not be aware. Don't make me famous. Good. I knew you would understand. Yuhase can apprise you of the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the observatorium. Captain Ilbert and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in his investigation. The Temple Knights shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. There you are, Varix. Commander Levelure instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. Most of the Third hail from Ul'dah, and for a man accustomed to the feel of sand beneath his boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand, nary a moment ago, I received word that the heretics we seek have been spotted making for Danafin Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt. Never let it be said that I do not earn my coin. Spoken like a true old un. It's funny how some distance makes all of that seem small. The way that just clicked on my brain. Look, I'm doing my best. Oh no, a fallen brave. Did that not pick up? I'm impressed. I can hear our bird, like, crying in the corner. But somehow it's not being picked up on mic this time. That works out. Thoughts balls by ankles on fire. Followed my boot from a rock or something and twisted it as it fell. The others went on ahead through Daphne Pass. Hurry and you might catch up. If you aren't sure where to go, look for tracks. Snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find. You poor thing. So around the corner, I take it? Around the corner and inside. Okay. Okay. I imagine at nighttime this would definitely look like where Elsa built the castle. Rongur. Excuse me. Do we want to play a horror game on the weekend?
Horror game.
An oddly specific question.
What horror game?
Do we all have a horror game? Or did you have a horror game in mind? Tiny Prince. Southeast. Phasmo.
I had a feeling.
Do we have a time and place for that? Because I know we're... Or for, what's it? We have D&D on Saturday, and I guess you want to fill Sunday nights with that? Scion, what are you doing there? Oh, D&D isn't happening. Oh, that was this weekend? Oh, right, yeah. The heretics? I'm not sure. It was a great-scale beast, and Yuhase. I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. Oh, right, we're stopping D&D for... I know we're not.
We're stopping 14 for...
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, no. What's wrong with the Lola? You don't like this one?
I know.
Come on. You can hit me. Just one. Nice.
How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest. And lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant will be watching. Be late and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? They can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I'll need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds.
You're a bit presumptuous. Also, technically speaking, little one, I outrank you. So as far as Phasma is concerned, we can discuss that later. I'm not opposed, but I also don't have it.
I don't have it either.
Oh my god. Let's just have that happen again. I'm walking, I see a person, and then the subtitle, Suspicious Curtha. Literally. You just want to play a game with us, but... what?
It doesn't have to be Jackbox.
With y'all for me, be thingy. I don't know what that says, but you don't have Jackbox. I mean, technically, I have Jackbox, but most of the old, or like 2 of the older ones.
I'll think of something this weekend.
Yeah. I know you asked me about Rabbit and Steel yesterday. Did you want to play that?
I mean, I have it.
Yeah. So, we all have that. So we can do that. in honor of a 14.
There is still Fantasy Life too.
Oh, that's true. Hit it up before the updates. I tend to clear the hardest too.
I found out why I wasn't seeing that one Fantasy Life mission that has the Poseidon fish and the Godfish in it. It's because it's in Fangshore Isles, which is my lowest ranked area. Because literally only 2 events ever spawn there. So it's hard to rank it.
Which one's Fang Shore? Oh, that's the... Is that the one? The turtle island?
Yeah, that little beach area.
Gotcha.
I only ever see 2 events spawn there, so it's
Yeah.
ranking that is so slow.
It's the tree into the star enemies?
Yes, that one.
Yeah. Alright. I think I have that rank 5. Does it only spawn at rank 6?
I think they have to. No, it's rank 5.
Okay.
But that's where that event. That's where the Lordly Shark event happens.
Hmm.
I had a
Gotcha.
feeling it was there, and I'm annoyed about it.
Tragic. Well, you can grind that too.
Attempt to clear the hardest. We could. That's
Yeah.
gonna be awful, but we could. I mean, I think it is doable, but there's no way you're gonna do it in one session. You'd have to reset, and on top of that, the gathering ones are gonna be tough. Combat wise, it's a little easier to do.
Right.
It is gonna be time consuming though. But yeah, it's
I think Michaela was talking about Raven Steel for that message specifically.
Rabbit and Steel.
Yeah.
I don't remember how far we got in that one.
I think the last time I remember you seeing it, or you playing it, was during the collab, like,
Yeah.
last
I
calendar
don't.
year.
Yeah, I don't remember how long. That's why I mean, but I don't remember how far we actually got in.
It's okay. I mean, I only had my first playthrough with Michaela, like, late at night, one night. I forget when.
I haven't. None of us have played Fantasy Life in a long time. Although I have at least been logging in every day. Because it's a slow, arduous process when you're not time traveling to collect all those golden celestial flowers.
Yeah, I
I'm
still
at
haven't
47 now out of 50.
upgraded my island rating, so
I mean,
I did air quotes. Sorry, no one sees that in my actions.
I saw it.
Yeah, well, you're next to me. That doesn't count.
Doesn't matter. I'm technically a viewer too, and I saw it.
Fair enough. Alright. Let's continue.
I'm through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling with those bluecoats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates.
Gentlemen.
Well, stay with her then if you think you'll fare any better. Now, there's no need for that. There are places like this in my homeland, sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Yet your lands ever thirst for the blood of the fallen. By your deeds, it has drunk deep. No, I've done no wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will. We shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Damn it.
Skill issue.
I fancy meeting you here, Barracks. I presume your work for the Third brought you hither. What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who is conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, but It seems our favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Yugiri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master Alfino is too kind. I fear my people have done little to aid your search for this spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead and the work they promise will require a very particular set of skills. The skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete.
That was very close. What was that movie? That was very close to a Taken reference. I appreciate that.
That is a most generous offer, Lady Yugiri, and one which I would gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and shall always be watching. A comforting thought? Come, Barracks. Let us wait inside for Captain Ilbert to return and deliver his report.
They don't reveal, like, obviously, Yugiri is here, but they don't, like, reveal ARR until Heavensward, right?
They were introduced as a playable race in Heavensward, yes.
Gotcha.
Captain Ilbert seemed confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. Oh, that's cute. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. For the greater good.
This is an opportunity for a Hot Fuzz reference up there.
Tendrils of intrigue. Captain Ilbert, your report, if you will.
Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us not that we did not already know Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquire their information on the shipment routes.
Go on.
You will recall the flame we first identified as being in the Ivy's employ. From him we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a flame stationed at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Photon. He knew the precise route that a caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant.
I think I can guess which one.
None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics.
Well, that is one mystery solved at least. But what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available to only high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you would consider then that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean to say the agents are among Raban's innermost circle? Someone who's been with him since the Immortal Flames establishment? Tis the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. How interesting for you to say all that. How very interesting, Mr. Ilberd. To slip into a position of authority unremarked, and remain above suspicion all these years. Aye, I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the three grand companies, Uldaz was ever the more vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsa Lominsa and Gridania have long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, as the same people, blow one's mind, under the same leadership, only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Uldaz's military was made of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raban faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, and given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier then and now, aye. The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. The monitors ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding. It was not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Nail Van Darnus' ambitions had been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that... So this assumes that you did that storyline. Interesting. They would never have risked supplying Raban with an army. It is but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames. Any one of them could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in like manner to the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word to Sir Emmerich, informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Varys. As the realm's stoutest champion, tis only meet. I feel like you said this before, but I still am unfamiliar with this phrase. Tis only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. Thanks? I love being voluntold. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path to her sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. Minfilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Ophicus' altar, and we shall make our way to the Lotus Stand together. Well, alrighty then. Lag. Don't lag. My thanks for coming, Barracks. When you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She will show us to the Lotus Stand. The Alliance leaders await you at the Lotus Stand. Will you be joining them now? Yes.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
This is Varys?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
It's about the reaction I expected, honestly.
Twas
Which
the
makes-
grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader. Not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Wait, who is the uncle? He has an uncle.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartno dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
It's not untrue.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it.
Please don't be smug about this. I can't be too mad. I have that attitude sometimes.
If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by.
Okay, slight aside. I have been listening to this performance of Alfino, and he slides between like an American and English accent. It's hard to pin down sometimes.
But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
I have to assume by all descriptions, Ilbert is Ivy. Which makes it very funny that he's present at most of these things. Bro's mixed at this point. I can see that. It will not have escaped. It will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose. Despite their
protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust among the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they like. Their unity means little and less to the common folk. Take the Luminsons, for instance. Though Admiral Meroweb outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-spilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. In likewise, the Gridanians are marked as hermits who talk to trees. And the Uldans scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Okay, to be fair, the last two are not untrue. Okay. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Uldan society, Adeleji, for example. But that is beside the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cartano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare, and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing. Let us speak of a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke of the Observatorium, Captain Ilbert has further shortened his list of suspects. And by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate has lately come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Varix. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilbert near the Adder's Nest. He will give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Kurthas, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. Well, at this point, I'm wondering, will he reveal himself to me first, or to Alfino first? So that Alfino gets the full sting of betrayal. My thanks for coming, Simon. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. Listen well. The spy we've been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Eileen Royal? Eileen Royal, Raban's second in command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flames, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill at the Polon had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she is the highest-ranking foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring the Flame General himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Raban chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed was of no interest. I mean, good, honestly. The Monitors saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. It was no secret that they did not favor foreigners, Ishgardians especially, after the way the Holy See forsook the Alliance. Yet the monitors did not raise so much as a murmur of protest when Royale was appointed to her post. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the monitorists? It always feels like somebody's watching her. But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us is Royale's presence here now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the immortal flames in the absence of the Flame General. While Rabon attended the Council of Alliance Leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. The woman has no business being in Gridania, yet here she is nonetheless, on some pretense. She is up to something, mark my words. Even as you speak, I have a dozen men trolling the Flames' records for evidence of Royale's guilt. But if we catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, and the docks. Every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can I rely upon your eyes, Simon? Why'd I agree? You have my thanks. Let us go then. Take care not to alert our quarry. Stealth mission? Or is that too optimistic to expect from Realm Reborn? Nice late music. Royale is headed in the direction of the Blue Badger Gate. With me, Simon. Might be too early. Yeah. So, Royale has entered the Carline Canopy. Meeting someone, perchance. Or could it be she means to board an airship? Pray look for her within. If she is not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. One of mine is stationed there, and she may have seen something. Ephemy is her name. I shall remain here in case Royale reappears. Cool. You are below. Also because I don't see one here. There we go. Dark Sil, what such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? A social visit, you say? How pleasant. No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger. None bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you. Halfway to redeeming the screen toggle. I look forward to that day. Nowhere to be seen, you say? And you are sure she did not board an airship? She didn't come back out either. Where in the seven hells could she have gone? Bruce, how could I forget? Greetings, good sir. Might I interest in you in some Mintui tonic? Puppet Day imbues a man with great vigor, if you take my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait, that necklace. You are Shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows. Thank the 12 for the Domans. Were it not for the unique talents, Royale would have disappeared without a trace. Just a sec, guys. We return. Who are you? Interesting. Well, fun dancing. In flagrante delicte. A hunt leads us to the East Shroud Scion. I suggest we follow Royale's example and take the ferry from West Shore Pier. You'll doubtless wish to make certain preparations. See to them while I go on ahead. I shall wait for you at Sweet Bloom Pier. Sweet Bloom Pier. Where can I get on a boat? So Old Gridania.
Oh, I see. Okay. Land spares. Sweet Bloom. I happen to be heading across the lake to Sweet Bloom Pier in the East Shroud. Off we trot. This way, my friends. Your quarry makes for the Hawthorne hut. If Royale is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with her Gallian masters there. An explanation is in order. You are no doubt aware that the Gallians have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friends at Garland Ironworks have provided us with devices which disrupt these communications, and we've installed them around the city-states. In so doing, we have made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Royal would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yet, as a well-known face in the Immortal Flames, she cannot move about Thanalan without being recognized. It would only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. It is for this reason, I believe, that she has chosen the Black Shroud for her clandestine meeting. The Elezen are a common sight here, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. As my scouts tell it, the Gallians have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need only make for the Hawthorne's hut and catch Royale in the act. It's weird that he called it Hawthorne's hut. And that's the kind of thing about script writing, though. That's supposed to be deliberate. Everything they write, or in this case localize, is extremely deliberate. Excuse me, tree. My people report that our koi has departed for the Bramble Patch. The ivy returns to the Nars whence she came, but perhaps it's all for the better. To convict of someone of her standing, we will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Gallian masters? My countrymen and I shall lighten weight in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. How noble. Among the brambles indeed. Just beyond, Royale is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer. An imperial intermediary, no doubt. This is it, with me. Flame Marshal Aline Royale, you are under arrest for treason and espionage. You have followed, you bloody fool. Damnation. Nice. 3-point landings on everyone. Let's go. Alright, so I guess you were actually... I really was expecting like a 11th hour turnaround where it wasn't actually her, but it was Ilbert. You were unarmed, my lady, and scarcely god for battle. But if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the Twelveswood? When last I looked, that was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers. You would feign ignorance, then? Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now, come quietly. I shall make you wish you had. I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. Even a warrior of Royale's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. With the ivy thus uprooted, it is hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap then the people of Uldal will have the grand company they deserve. But let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now, Varix? So the Scions seek a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Then I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Pray do not let me keep you. Fear not. My countrymen and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. Speaking of talents, you've been training in the art of the shinobi, have you not? The change in your bearing is quite evident, to me at least. I look forward to seeing you in action. Till next time, my friend. Oh, she knows. I'm half tempted to switch to ninja right now. Where are you? Oh, so actually going back. Okay. You know what? In honor of Yugiri, we will go back to Ninja. That's funny. Wait, what the? Since when was this a thing? And why?
Steady, steady. Not bad, eh? With a little more practice, I could earn a fortune at the Ruby Road Exchange.
I'm happy for you. So they're doing squats. Nothing else happening in the corner. She juggling? She is.
Welcome back, Barracks. I understand that Alfino had a task for you. May I ask what it was? Charges of treason and espionage against Eileen Royale. I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails us not to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must trust to the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum.
Great. A simple plan, you say? What would be most appropriate here of the titles I know? Dude, if there are any song references in the middle of this quest, I'm gonna be so mad if I don't catch them.
As you may recall, Iceheart used the Aetheryte in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely to a sanctuary of some description. It is there that we suspect she means to summon Shiva using the crystals she stole from the House Fultam caravan. The heretics believe they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint. But if, as we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual of the kind employed by the beast tribes, it seems likely that the result will be something more akin to a primal. Suffice it to say, they must be stopped, and stop them we shall. But first, we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap into the established Ethernet and thereby follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the Aetheryte to which she teleported. Our prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second Aetheryte upon arrival. A reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Urianger, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution. Which is why we have called upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise. A colleague of ours who is currently en route to Revenant's Toll from Charlian. She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. Since you are here, mayhap we could welcome her together. I am certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let us make our way to the northern gates and await her coming. So that means we get to meet Kryl, right?
Be right back one more time. I need to make tea for my dry mouth. Alright, sorry about that. While it is important to have the water nearby as well, definitely also important to have something which soothes. Alright, my estimation is that this is corral. Those are pretty. Oh. I finally get to meet you.
Minfilia, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Urianger.
That's cute.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Sharlayan scholar, and an authority on aetherite technologies.
Definitely a good
She has played an invaluable role in our search
specialty.
for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Ah,
Charmed, I'm sure.
quite. I'm sure that you're the whole reason behind our site.
Let us return to the Rising Stones at once, then. We have much to discuss. Is that to be smarty on the wall back there? I'm amazed you managed to find all the pieces after... well, you know.
Moon! Gods, it's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister.
A joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
I fail to see the resemblance. But please, expound.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
This is such a fucking good picture. Hang on. Let's capture this moment. Thank you, Papalymo. This is everything I could have hoped for.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of aetherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
I had a feeling. And I'm glad I was correct.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
I am hardly one to judge you.
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits.
Yeah?
And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Oh, come now. Aw, she's excited. Uh-oh. Nice.
Urianger, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
No touchy. No touchy. You should have held him
All
longer.
this way, and that's what you have to say to me.
He's you for real, for real. Understood.
I
Oh,
much
look at her pout.
preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Please, do more of this.
Go on.
Yes.
Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit.
Methinks the Urianger doth protest too much.
Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You still haven't found it then, your missing aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate the second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the aetherite.
There was the whole aetherite sound.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an aetherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
Well, hear me out here. What if each of you held some form of crystal, directed all your energies in that, and thereby you get the requisite precision that you so require. And so when you channel all that, you treat it like a prism. And with that prism, you get one singular ether flow.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous! Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the aetherite. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand.
Hmm.
Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
You know, I see why people like her.
Though it risked the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options.
That happens a lot, doesn't it?
If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
Let's go gambling. Okay, before I click this, I'm trying to think back of literally every single dialogue that I remember. And not a single song reference is coming to mind. That's a shame. The instruments of our deliverance.
I have already informed Alfino of our plan to recreate the beacon in the manner Moonbreeder described. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. He also said that he wished to meet with you at Snowcloak before proceeding. I expect you will find him waiting for you there when you arrive. I want you to know that I appreciate everything you have done on our behalf, Varix, and that I have faith that you will return to us, as you always have.
Thanks. You're zooming. Ugh. All the snow is so nice. It's great that I don't have to shovel any of it.
Trust in the power of the White Orside Barracks, and in me, of course. Good to see you, Varix. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Captain Ilbert sends his regards, by the way. He attends to the interrogation of Aileen Royale in Ul'dah, even as we speak. But I shall not distract you from the matter at hand. We can discuss the Ivy upon your return. I trust that. By which I mean to say... the others are waiting for us at the Aetheryte. After you, Scion.
Interesting. Not often is the great Alfino lost for words. In a sense, I'm glad that the principle of my plan was correct.
There, it's ready.
Uh-huh. Ha! It worked. I think. Try tuning to the ether right now. Feel for the current, try to locate the beacon. We have done all we can, Barracks. For now, let us withdraw. When your final preparations are complete, you must seek out the beacon we have created. By the grace of the 12, if by the grace of the 12 you arrive safely, you must stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. That's a lot of S's. We cannot ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Iceheart to our plans. Should that be the case, she may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual. And if she succeeds, you will have little choice but to face Shiva in battle. Knowing little of this saint, I cannot say if your own strength will suffice, and so I will encourage you to call upon your allies. Some may have reservations about wagering their lives on the success of Mo and Brida's experiment, but others will surely agree that desperate times call for desperate measures. Before you assemble your party, pray speak with that knight. I believe he has a message for you from Sir Emmerich. Okay. What could he possibly want to say to me? Madam, Sir Emmerich regrets that he could not be here in person, and asks that I read to you his letter. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need, it is not her knights who stand poised to defend her. Verxil, the warrior of light, savior of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you chose to remain. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gifts for selfish ends, you wield yours in service to a greater cause. May Haloni bless you with good fortune and see you safely home. You know what? That is a hell of an entrance. Double checking. Okay. As before, we shall see if anyone's doing this. Oop. $11. We'll give it 5. And then I know I have some weak weapons on me somewhere. This may do. Push comes to shove, though. I'll give it 5 minutes. If not, then I'll attempt to nerf myself again, but a little bit more properly this time. Most of the damage in this system is on the weapon. So if I nerf the weapon, a lot of the damage should come down. So for now, we're just chilling. Now I do a little bit of a hyperfixation. Just need these to be smooth. Yeah. Mostly acceptable. Ugh. Ow. Bit too far. What we do? Well, I'm just gonna get myself ready. I'm gonna make the assumption that these are fine. I wonder if that breaks my portrait. That would be very funny, though. Alright. Unsynced. Amphitheater. Alright.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace.
Okay.
A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down. We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
I kind of wish that last bit was muffled because she's encased in ice.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that this is the origin of the Queen of Bad Ideas.
Original Queen of Bad Ideas.
The original Queen of Bad Ideas.
Kind of is the Queen of Bad Ideas.
Alright. Try to make me work for this, okay? No. I did not nearly nerf enough. Oh well. She does have a sick song though, so. I do find it funny that the killing blow that I had on her was ice shurikens.
Fool. Blind, bloody fool.
It's very likely. Hello, bot. Everyone say bye to the bot.
You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence.
Why do you know that?
Mine is the righteous cause. You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers.
That I agree with.
And they are no less ignorant than you. Following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth.
I mean, that's a little prescient.
Warrior of light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the keeper of the lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander Mother's gift.
Hmm.
Hear, feel, think.
So you had the Echo too. Interesting. What is this, though? If that was a cool teleport, teach it to me, please. Which one are you?
And so the vessel withdraws. A predictable outcome.
Who the fuck is this nerd sounding? He's extra nasally.
Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
By the 12, you're alive. I mean, of course you're alive. Why wouldn't you be? I started... What? And you're certain about that, are you? Javanians are skilled at glamours, after all. Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you're not injured? Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations, you see. No? Fair enough. I was only asking. No, the head injuries happened during, which one was it? Titan? For only reason that we get to answer the landslides. The landslides. Later on. If you ask me, there's not to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the rising stones, eh? I'll get everyone to meet us there. Ah, but before that, you'd best pay a visit to the White Room front and speak with Alphino. He's probably worried sick about you. That, or he's busy playing at politics with the Ishgardians. Either way, I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blurred vision? No reason. See you again soon. I appreciate her performing scientific investigation at this moment.
Did I miss that? 3 rainbows though.
Let's go gambling.
Okay. Oh my god, she made it.
I can't stop winning.
No way.
Let's go get...
No, absolutely not. I'm not gonna do that to her.
I know.
There she is, and none the worse for wear. Was there ever any doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for us all when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you would be so kind.
I don't like bragging, don't make me brag.
Then we were too late to prevent the summoning. But not too late to prevent further loss of life. A worthy outcome worthy of celebration. And one for which we have Varix to thank. Yes, you are right, of course, Sir Emmerich. We should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there is the matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Dumont, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport, in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. Of that I have no doubt. I take it that these are the same supplies the heretics stole from the House Fortom caravan. Less the crystals which comprise the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of that which was promised. but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. You got pizza? Nice. Huh. On an unrelated note, Bergs, might I trouble you to accompany to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. Took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. Poor guy. To be fair, we didn't tell him that we were doing this. Men give vent to their anxieties in myriad ways. Pray do not think less of him. I didn't? I did, however, assume that's the kind of person he was, so it tracks. So what kind of pizza did you get, Michaela? Taking chicken with bell pepper? That sounds lovely. Got a nice crunch to it. And I hope for your sake the chicken is not overcooked. What were you thinking, Varys? Wagering your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway? And then, engaging the abomination in mortal combat? By the fury, Varys, 'tis the stuff of ballads, a battle for the ages, whether I had been there to fight by your side. I like how that's his concern. He wanted to be there with us, not that we risked life and limb.
Bless him.
Yet here I was forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I could not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But you are here now, and that is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Emmerich wished to have words with you and Master Alfino in private. He awaits us in the intercessory. You like overcooked chicken? That's a decision. Into the alleyway.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Nautalon.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
True enough.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We too have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgardsormr could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights?
No.
One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's Toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
You are not in a negotiating position. Please dial it back. Also, you don't have the power to back up your sass.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind?
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
I didn't not have faith. You miss Mitty. That's fair. It is always important to miss Grandpa. Eyes unclouded. It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reappraisal of the primal threat and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine, then, if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized peoples as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Varix. It is better that we continue this conversation, Mordona. A lot of yawning happening. You're full from 2 slices of pizza. What's wrong with that? You ate your fill. No juggling anymore. You want more? Look, you can have more in what? 4 to 5 hours?
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once. Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogglmog XII was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Indeed. I'll be right back one more time.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ashgardians were blind to the truth.
No, see, here's the thing. For Iceheart, it's hear, feel, freeze.
Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ashgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
There you go. It was time to see what she could do, to test the limits and break through. Some were right, some were wrong. Rules for thee.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
You should make a T toggle for me. I would like that.
Midgard Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead
Oh,
and
it's
his
obvious when
wisdom
I
lost to the
drink,
ages.
isn't it?
Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded. It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Maybe with future new outfit. My.
I mean to scour the annals for knowledge of Midgard Soma. Given his great age, I dare say he appears in more than a few. Do you hear that? The commotion outside. Would you see if aught is amiss?
I don't really see anything being wrong here.
Varix, 'tis well that you are on hand. We have a problem. Royale has escaped. It happened shortly after the Immortal Flames took her into custody. She had been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial, but apparently the accommodation was not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with 2 guards. 'Tis plain she received inside help. Citizens report seeing Royale quitting the city by the gate of Nald, with a bloodied spear in her hand. She makes for Castra Meridianum, I am certain of it. With her fate in Eorzea as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilbert and the First are hot upon Royale's heels. Pray make haste to Camp Blue Fog and join the hunt.
And yet you walk. Wrong place.
My thanks for coming, Scion.
I have spoken with the soldiers here. They say that Royale walked through the camp not a bell ago. Aye, she walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Robon's decision to keep the matter secret to thank for that. Bad for morale, she said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her. And so here we are. Royale must not be allowed to reach Castra Meridianum. I think I'm noticing that I'm like slurring some of these things. It's hard to slow down when I hear how fast they're talking. But maybe I should for my own sake. Just so every word is properly enunciated. Oh my god, dude. I should probably equip my real thing. This wretch was with Royal. He threw himself at us that his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down. Not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to her own, the god's damned harpy. With me, sire, we almost have it. She got dressed real quick. Helene the Razor. Completed. You want to try picking up Ninja when you get back? It's fun. Binder, do it tight. Yes, sir. Good work, men. She and her Imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were better. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. Would you, Noblo? You, spoiled little lordling who has never known any what?
People like you, such as you, take wealth and birth for granted. You think it your God's given right to rule over others. You know not of our plight. The injustice that we low-bornish guardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we are not people, but resources to be consumed. That's also prescient. I did what I had to do to survive. Stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagined me a paragon when I joined the flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you're the only person to have ever suffered. In case you have forgotten, Raban himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth, with little more than shirts on our backs. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt, and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different then? 'Tis true that we were born mercenaries of lowly birth, and 'tis true that we both had our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, Marshal, you sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, it is that you never betray your own. I would sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. But enough talk. You will return to Uldar to face justice, and the people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. Not so much as a hint of remorse. 'Tis well that this sordid business is finally at an end. A friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Raban chose his.
I have heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Raban. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while.
Political maneuvering.
Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Hmm. Here, back one more time. I know I said that like an hour ago, but I need to use the restroom. Okay. I gotta keep the blood flowing. Captain Hilbert and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. When you have completed our interrogation, we shall take our findings directly to General Raban, and that shall be the end of it. Your work here is done, my friend. My thanks. Ah, but I have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones and apprise Minfilia of all that has happened. I am aware that the antecedent held Royale in high regard. For better or worse, she will want to know how this tale ends. Not bad.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alfino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent. I know not what to say.
I'm sorry, how'd you pronounce that? Wayu?
Together with Robon, Aline lent us much needed aid at the time of our Order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat. When we discussed the subject, Her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Ascians. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with white auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Ascian souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether.
We did.
Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to auracite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength. Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Ascian soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Ascian soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Habrea.
During that encounter, Heidelin bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether.
That is possible.
Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Habrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void.
Tragedy.
The fact remains, however, that Heidelin placed the means to destroy the Ascians in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Heidelin did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had 2 pieces of white auracite? One to trap the Ascian, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
'Twould seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the auracite. And I could do with some help. Urianger, why don't you lend me a hand?
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands.
No trouble. Wait, hang on. No trouble. I can do my research there.
Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
Called it. We appreciate our
While
ladies
you
being
were
forward.
afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident at the Isle of Val. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye, yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
All indications suggest Ascian involvement, but I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the Dark Beings call the One True God. We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Random ones taken during such. And only when they're talking about... How curious.
Following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea. So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Huayu, my right hand.
Huayu. Her name is Huayu. Roaille. Huayu. Okay.
There is more. We have reason to believe that Huayu didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald. But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the Media Project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more concerned about preventing the spread of primal influence than claiming Eorzea for the Empire. He would happily have seen the lot reduced to ash. We believe a number of high-ranking figures within the royal household were against the decision, but that they knew better than to oppose the Emperor openly. Of course, this didn't prevent them from making clandestine provisions, in which Huayu played a part.
Alas, these provisions did not prevent Dalamud from falling, and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima weapon.
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone. In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ul'dah prior to the calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar, yet opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Varus Zos Galvus.
Varus, not
So
Varys.
he was Huayu's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Huayu served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea. In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
Seven hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
Huh, triple, if you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me. By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or Monetarist masters. Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, Huayu must be made to reveal whose it is.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Those who are innocent have no cause to fear.
Sure.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
Huh.
All these years, I've been made to dance to their tune. How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them? Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monetarist scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! Today I will purge this land of your sickness! Before the eyes of the 12, I swear it!
If only we had screen shake during that moment. That would have been cool. Is this her bed?
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace. I fear that not even mine own chambers shall remain private for long.
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartiner Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees. The monetarists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about capitalism here, right? When you don't have any money to steal from the less fortunate, you can only steal from your competitors.
Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
True.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
A valid point.
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right. If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly.
But given that the entire Syndicate is your enemy, just be mindful of that.
Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the monetarists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, it seems beyond any one individual to make Ul'dah whole.
To undo this, you have to raise several systems to the ground and build it up from scratch. There's only so much reform that can undo the unbridled reach of capitalism in our beloved Ul'dah.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the immortal flames only makes matters worse. Even accounting for Uldah's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the monetarists with a rod to beat Rauban.
Eorzea can ill afford for the immortal flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Ul'dah.
The true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few.
So true, Nanamo. So true.
The monetarists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people.
Yes and no.
For Ul'dah to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Naming the Sultanate to be next would be the honest thing to say, but some places do operate better under a figurehead.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Rauban to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves. For a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Ul'dah.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
There is no other way. When the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both royalists and monetarists shall cease to be. Uldar will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Roban, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
I feel your determination, and I respect it.
I am most eager to address the ASEAN threat. However, we dare not neglect our other pressing concerns. We both know full well that Saint Shiva will not be the last primal we face, and our relationship with Ishgard is still tenuous at best. To think that the resolution of the primal threat was once the sole priority of the Scion's seventh dawn. Some days I wonder if it was wise for us to take on so many other responsibilities. Lest you forget, Antecedent, the Scions need not shoulder the burden alone. Were not the Crystal Braves established for this very reason? True, we are presented with a multitude of problems. However, we have all the resources we need to address them in turn. Varix, in particular, is ever a steadying hand, who I trust will continue to support the Braves. Don't make me nod. To what do we owe the pleasure? Have there been further developments regarding the situation in Uldar? As expected, the Immortal Flames have been struggling to cope with the revelation that one of their highest-ranking officers was a Garlean agent. Suffice it to say, Teleji Adeleji and his monetarist ilk have wasted no time in attempting to turn the situation to their advantage. And coupled with ongoing unrest, the Flames are finding themselves hard-pressed. Plainly, General Roban needs our help, and I will direct the Crystal Braves to offer what support they can. If I am to stay abreast of the latest developments and issue effective orders, however, I cannot afford to waste time traveling back and forth. And so, for the foreseeable future, I think it would be best if I were to remain in Uldar, unless you have an objection. None whatsoever. We have matters here well in hand. Moonbreeder's research is proceeding as planned. So she tells me, though I am not familiar with the details. Riange is poring over his tomes of the Waking Sands, and the others are contributing in their own ways. Alas, the key problem, how to form an ethereal blade at will, remains unsolved. Nevertheless, it is only a matter of time. Varix, while we focus on that task, mayhap you could assist Alfino and his braves with theirs. It would be too much to restore faith in the immortal flames if the warrior if it would do much to restore faith in the immortal flames if the warrior of light was seen working on their behalf. Never forget that your esteemed status allows you to act in ways that those more tightly bound to organizations and nations cannot. As ever, I implore you to do so. Not that your response was ever in doubt, but I humbly thank you once more for aiding our cause. Now then, there are preparations I must attend to before my departure, such as receiving Riol's latest report. He has proven to be quite skilled in gathering information others wish kept secret. Hence I placed him under my direct command and ordered him to investigate the Olden riots. When you are finished here, join me outside. Depending on what he has to say, I may soon have a favor to ask. If there are any developments on our front, I shall inform you at once in the usual fashion. Feeling the twinge of sleepiness, so I'm thinking probably call it at the end of this quest. I just picked it up, but I'll assume that I can. Pleasure's always, Varix. You'll be escorting the commander to Ulda, I take it. Actually, I had another task in mind for her. If you would be so kind as to repeat your report for her benefit. Right then. Me and mine have been making inquiries into the source of the weapons, what found their ways into refugee hands ways back. So happens we got wind of something promising. Rather large purchase, sharp and pointy things by a black marketeer holed up near Highbridge. I doubt this man would have secured such a quantity of weapons if he did not already have clients waiting. Clients that, for whatever reason, would prefer for this transaction to remain secret. Brings to mind that merchant what called Nara were talking to Varys, don't it? Generous fellow he was, doling out swords and spears to the Don Tradden and Scrundle. Which isn't to say that these clients have the same mischief in mind. But if you want to be sure, might be prudent to intervene before they collect their goods, yeah, savvy? Seizing the weapons before they fall into the wrong hands would be for the best. However, if we strike at the appointed hour, we might capture the Black Marketeer as well as his clients. What say you, Varys? Just a nod. No choice. Just a nod. Then it is settled. Rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at Highbridge and intervene when the exchange takes place. Now then, if you would excuse me, I must leave for Ulda. I expect good tidings. Yep, there it is. Ah, Varys. My scouts have been keeping a close eye on the black markets here, and it would seem that his guests have arrived. It would also seem that he has hired more than a few men to stand guard. Common things of no consequence, but nevertheless, they pose a threat. Even so, I feel compelled to apologize. It is far beneath a woman of your standing, and Commander Levelour needn't have dispatched you hither. But powerful men ever have need of loyal, able-bodied friends. Having found one in you, 'tis only natural he would come to rely upon you without hesitation. Great. Okay. So we'll call it there for today. Really wish I didn't get so sleepy early. But I guess that's the price I pay for doing this right after a work shift. Oh well. So we'll continue this next Thursday. And then more Monster Sanctuary on Monday. So yeah. Until next time, be well, everyone. I'm bugging out.